Hi, everyone. Today we're going to be speaking about digital nomadism or being a digital nomad. We're going to share experiences. So we're going to say maybe what it is, kind of give it a little more understanding and how you can do that, maybe what's all about. This is the video. And today I'm accompanied by Mike Principi, my friend from Italy. He's an Amazon seller like myself. It's connected to digital nomadism in a little bit. And we sell online, we do other gigs online. And Mike, can you introduce yourself to us? And then let's just talk about digital nomadism or whatever you want.
Yeah, sure. Cool. Thank you, man. Great to be here again. Always nice to be on the channel in one of your videos.
Yeah, it's the second time, man. You're, by the way, here. Yes.
It is. And actually, the first time it was short after the outbreak of the pandemic. So it was beginning of April or something.
That's right. We're speaking about mistakes we did as sellers on Amazon, I think.
Yeah. True. Yeah, so I'm an Amazon seller from Italy. I've been living abroad for a few years now, since I was 21 mostly. I started looking at Amazon in 2018, I believe, mid-2018. Started selling during Q4 2018. It doesn't mean the best Q4 ever for me, because I had just started. It was pretty funny, good time to start, I feel. And then, as I mentioned last time, shortly after that, a few months in, I actually dropped my old job. Not because I was, getting paid by my Amazon business, but I felt confident that I could make it, and I wanted to invest more time and energy and focus, and also I wanted to start traveling and change a bit my lifestyle. Back then I was living in London doing a sales corporate B2B job that I just didn't feel like it was my thing anymore. And I had some savings, so I said, all right, let's go all in. Started traveling around Asia and stuff. That's where we met in Thailand. One thing led to another. Now, like about a year and a half in, Amazon is 60% of what I'm doing right now. As you know, as a side project that is getting bigger and bigger, I'm working on I'm partnering up with another Amazon consultant, expanding his agency's operation into Italy and possibly some other European countries soon. Trying to merge my sales background with Amazon full service agency consultancy. Man, super into all of this. It's cool to talk about a bit of all of this today.
Yeah, welcome again to the channel, man. And you mentioned that you've generally lived abroad a lot, man. And at some point you started the gig of Amazon, right? When you were working in sales. So you had some sales background, interesting.
And actually, sorry. No, I was just thinking that to me, actually, looking at online businesses, Amazon right now, it's basically 100% of it, in terms of the industry where I work right now. It's just been the ideal prosecution of what I was doing as a student, as a university student, and before even as a high school student, trying to get international experience, get abroad, go studying abroad whenever I had a chance, or internship and so on. Yeah, and that's just something that it was missing when I started my traditional standard corporate career. I've always looked at this, where people working online, working from their laptop around as the right, fit for me. Like, all right, that's the way that one earns a living, but also that's what I actually like, which is traveling, or that doesn't have to be every day, backpacking and stuff like that, but I do love the freedom behind.
Travels motivate you, these experiences, And this kind of led 100%. To also that you traveled abroad, and also that you've started with Amazon, because I guess you saw digital nomads, which we will touch this way in a bit. What the heck is that? And then you saw that, you saw an online business opportunity to essentially that's how you can work from the laptop, 100%. Yes. And you got into that, and then
still remember the first time. Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, I was saying that then you kind of moved to travel in Southeast Asia, and then you mentioned the first time. What you remember?
I was just saying the first time I heard about Amazon. I don't know if I ever told you, but a good friend of mine from my 1 year Erasmus in Madrid, a Turkish guy whom I met in Barcelona about 3 years ago, I believe. It was around a year before I started doing Amazon. He was into Amazon FBA, and he had started already with another friend of him. He explained me the whole process, and I still remember his friend saying this sentence that really struck with me. He said, so right now we're doing this and this, and we are checking the product, we order samples, but in the long run, what happens is that you don't even see the product. You don't see it anymore. You don't manage it physically. And I just remember thinking, wow, that's so cool. That allows you to actually getting rid of the whole physical product management thing. Like you
Yes.
literally don't need to have a to be somewhere. Let's say you're free to be wherever you want. Yeah, I still remember, man, that sentence, that moment. It just, I don't know, you say it turned on the light in my mind. If that makes sense in English.
Something like a spark of something, and it was like, well, that's how
Can't think
I would
of the
like
right
to
expression.
be, or that's what I would like to do, or this sounds like really cool, right?
Exactly,
I understand, man. It was, I also discovered Amazon like in 2016. It was like a light bulb moment, although I was connected to to internet stuff even before that, but Amazon is the first thing that really went to work, which kind of leads me to also the thing that I really like traveling, and I thought of becoming a digital nomad. So what is digital nomad? Let's touch it for a second. So digital nomad is kind of someone that has the ability to work abroad, yes, so to say, from either his laptop, or generally he just has some sort of income, and he digitally is connected to his incomes, and he can travel, and that's pretty much it, right? That's the thing. And such people, which is called digital nomads, many times hang out in different places around the world, and it's like a culture in a way. It became a thing because these internet businesses allowed to get there. And I first, so digital nomad is some person that does it, just walks, travels around, and maybe earns from his laptop. Not necessarily that he needs to have an online kind of business. He can still have a shop in his hometown, and it is run on remote, yes.
Or
but
just
this is the way you build a
company.
business, right? That's the way you build your business, that you can do that, travel and earn. Now, some businesses are very towards that, like Amazon FBA, like all the YouTube stuff, because it's all done online and literally can be done through a computer. So that's pretty much a digital nomad. And so, Mike, can you tell us, if you agree to that term that I've mentioned? Yes, is that where you want to add something? But can you kind of tell us what's your experience of living as a digital nomad? Because you've been doing that kind of lifestyle for there and here for a few years. And just curious, or what do you think?
So in terms of really being digital nomad, to be honest, I would say that I've done a little shorter than a year because of pandemic and some stuff that happened last year. But I mean, I've been doing it for a while. I think 100%. It all comes down to what you've described. Someone who is able to have to generate revenue online. That could be your own business, whatever it is. E-commerce, might be consultancy, might be content creation, just like you're doing as well. Monetization of content, might be photos, videos. So I would just wanted to add, it might also be as well just working as an employee for a company that accept that you
exactly. Also makes sense, right? You don't have to specifically do business or something. You can just
you don't have to own it or to manage it. You might just as well be I believe there are tons of the biggest, I don't know how to say, batch of professionals that can do this are usually coder. I met a bunch of
many coders. I've met many coders as well.
Might be copywriter, marketers, whatever. This kind of trend has been accelerated by COVID, but just to a certain extent. Like I have a lot of friends who have been working just from home for the past 7-8 months now, but they're still obliged not to leave the country where their company is. And I think this is the next. I believe it's due to some insurance thing or something like that. And I do believe that this is the next barriers that is going to be disrupted completely, because once you give the people the freedom to work from home, then imagine in the UK, why should someone still live in an expensive city or like London? I mean, I can see some insurance company like Safety Wings or stuff that they start offering packages for companies with remote teams, and I'm really confident that's the next thing that's going to happen. Like companies giving the freedom to people to just move around, maybe according to some time zone. For me, it's just been very cool so far. Last year when I started, I was still at the beginning, enjoyed a lot. I was still obviously starting the business, because I have, as I told you, when I started with Amazon in Europe, and then when I actually left my job, I decided to retire the products I was selling and restart on Amazon US. So back at that time for me was kind of foundational. It's been a hell of a ride, I would say. Interesting,
Sure.
challenging for sure. I didn't get to a point where I can confidently say, yeah, I'm gonna be able to do this forever, because I still have to achieve the level of revenue that I'm looking for.
Aiming for, yeah, kind of thing.
Yeah. The level of, I don't know how to say, I want to establish my business up to an extent where I can say confidently it's gonna survive for long, or I can outsource a lot of stuff. I don't need to work on it so much. But I have to say I'm super motivated. It's really what I wanted to do. I will keep going as forever or something. I just really motivated. The thing is, I do see the freedom that it allows you. I do see the challenge as well, the cost involved. But for me, the freedom comes first, and that's really what I wanted. And beside that, what else?
Yeah, like your experience of this, and for example, like would you? So you've done it, as you mentioned, for about for about a year. Generally, you've decided just to go and explore more. But do you remember the exact thing that made you like, okay, now I quit, and now I go? Like, why specifically wanted to at that point do that? Like, why did you decide to go one day to take your bag and move to Southeast Asia and go travel? You know, you've been to Thailand, right, man? Remind me, you've been to Like, you can tell us about this. Like how come?
So first I spent a month in Bali. Then I spent about 3 months in Thailand, between Bangkok, Chiang Mai, where I met Barak.
Barak Anwar.
Your other regular guest on the channel.
Barak is a good guy, yes, for sure.
Yourself in Phuket, hanged around the southern islands for about a month and a half or something. Then I went to Vietnam for a little bit more than a month. Then I spent about a week in Beijing, and for personal reason, I decided to fly back to Europe from there.
Okay.
And then this year, after the whole pandemic stuff and so on, as soon as I was in Italy during the pandemic, as I told you in the last video, and then as soon as the borders have reopened, I've kind of experimented the digital nomad lifestyle in Europe
during the COVID, which is pretty cool.
It was during, last summer it looked like nothing was happening really, and I picked the destination according to the how easy it was to get in, how relaxed the situation was. First thing I went to Sicily, which is not really an exotic destination for me because my family's from there. I have a small house, so it was just to chill a bit there, escape from Rome. Then I went to Budapest for a month, and because I was curious just to check the city. Pretty cool city, kind of digital nomad city in Eastern Europe. Then Vienna, visiting a friend, and from there I flew over to Spain, which is like a second home to me. And I spent since end of July, I've been in Spain pretty much always, except 3 weeks that I had to go back to Rome for a few stuff to take care of documents, renew ID, and so on. Sorry, what was the question, man? Kind of.
It's fine. It was interesting to hear where you've been. No, I also asked
how I decided.
Where have you? Yeah, but what made you? That's the so to say. That's what's been going around for a while. So you've been here, there, Europe a little bit, Budapest, Spain, right? Valencia, you're currently there, right? And So man. And so, but what made you? Yeah.
It's always been part of my personality to go around and explore. My dad is pretty much the same, I guess. I just got the same genes. My brother is similar. We've been living around for years and years since we were, my brother left home and went living in Barcelona when he was 18. My dad, back in the 60s and 70s, has been hitchhiking around Europe, back then when kids who were 16, 17 could just start hitchhiking on the road and get to Sweden from Rome or stuff like that. Pretty cool time. And I always heard this story from him, and I was always into this stuff. So to be honest, to me, it's not really, many people look at this and for them it's like a groundbreaking choice, something, a revolutionary choice in their lifestyle. To me, if I look at what I was doing before moving to London for my old corporate job, I changed a couple of companies in London, but to me, actually, what I was doing before was the standard. And what I was doing in London was a great experience. I've learned a ton. I'm very happy what I've done in London. Awesome city and people, but I just felt like I had to go back to myself, I had to go back to what I enjoyed the most, which is move around and so on. Obviously, I don't want to do it as a homeless. I want to do it in a sustainable way, in a smart way, doing cool stuff, building an asset like a business, trying to make money and so on. I just don't want to, hit the road with $20.
I see. So you're mentioning that you're pretty much all your life been like, moving around, since you are also relatives do that, or did that or do that yesterday still, I believe still.
Yeah.
And
I had opportunities. I was lucky
and then,
at the end of the day.
And then you just wanted to go back to that and do that more eventually, right?
Yeah.
And so, and then you started traveling, right? You got out with your laptop, with a bag, I guess. And many people, this is something, I also traveled. I've spent like about 2 years in Thailand, but that's less as a digital nomad, more just like staying in the same area there kind of thing. But pretty much doing the computer, living with my laptop. That was when I had my business for a few years then. But before that, I've traveled just as a backpacker. I had no business. I had nothing. I was like, just roaming around with a bag. And
that's amazing.
That's what many people, they're like, wait, how the heck can you do that? So pretty much being a digital nomad is not that different, but only you have the laptop actually, there is the laptop. You have, or some sort of communication, unless you have automated businesses that you don't need even to touch. Okay, you see, but I'm still far from this. I'm still working on this, but it's also interesting to automate. However, it's still pretty much the same. You go to different places, but you work remote or just generally go to places. So can you tell me maybe how is it possible? How you do that? How you have a backpack, right? What do you have? Like the laptop, like where do you come? You book the hotel? What do you do? Like,
well, it kind of depends. First thing I would say, I kind of disagree. I believe it's way more difficult to do it as if you actually have any kind of business or online job, because
you can't
still need to balance.
You can't disappear for weeks, from this. Which you can't do if you don't have this. So
of course.
Or either it's automated.
I just mean, exactly. You need to balance productive time and actually achieving what's on your to-do list.
I see what you mean. Okay.
Just traveling around and enjoying. I mean, to be honest, I haven't done the backpacker's lifestyle that much in those months, especially when I was in Asia. But essentially, to me, it comes down to, pretty standard, traveling lightly. And you can do it in regions like Southeast Asia and, I don't know, I guess South America, it's similar. I'm not sure because I haven't been, but, just travel lightly, make sure to have just the minimum with you, and kind of plan accordingly. I mean, like when I was in Asia, I knew that I had to spend at least a month and a half I was at the product selection stage, and I had to receive samples and things like that. So I decided to settle down in Chiang Mai because I always heard about it as the best digital nomad city in the world, and it's probably one of the main hubs. Then
Asia,
after that,
or generally,
in Asia, of course. Then after that, I kind of enjoyed it a bit more after that month and a half of sedentary lifestyle, because I was at the production stage where, I had a lot to do, but I could do it a bit more, having a pretty fragmented organization in terms of time and so on. I don't know if that makes sense, but I didn't really need to go to a cafe and put in 4, 6, 8, 10 hours of work every day. I knew that I could just take, I would see, as an example, wake up pretty early and go to my hostel, cafe or quiet space and just work, or find a good cafe or things like that to work. But I knew that it was a bit more flexible.
And of course, if you have hours that are set, if you work as a digital nomad in a company, for example, you work Monday, Thursday, X hours, then you got to be online, but if you have your own gig, you set your own times, right? That's the cool thing about having your own gig. But okay, so you were, traveling, and at the same time, and the place you were, you would find a place where you can put your laptop in a quiet place and just do stuff. And you were flexible, right? Because on Amazon, unless you have specific tasks, like for example, you say, today I have to do 5 manual rebates. So you do that. Maybe sounds Chinese to people who are not from Amazon, but you gotta do some manual stuff. So you gotta be there. However, if you don't, then you don't, kind of thing. That's the cool thing about your own gig. Like you can set your own hours. But anyway, yes, I got a bit carried away there. So
It depends. It's all about that. It depends. I guess that if I didn't choose to go back to Europe last winter, I would have probably still settled down somewhere in Asia. I was planning to go back to Bali and just settle down there for some months at least. Because anyways, it's really a big challenge. I feel like if you really want to focus a lot, scale the business, or just be more productive when it comes to Amazon, it's just about launching more products and so on. You can't really do that kind of backpackers lifestyle too long. You can maybe alternate and rotate, but
not only backpackers. If you gotta be present, on your computer. If you are doing Amazon store, if you're doing, a pub in your town, you're gonna be there for a while, right? Until you automate the systems. If you want this, so you were just traveling, and you wanted being a digital nomad. So, for example, some of the problems that digital nomads face is the visas. So, for example, you go to Thailand, right? You have 1 month there, unless you get the tourist visa. How do you move around then?
So in terms of Southeast Asia last year, I knew that most countries had for Western world citizens, we're pretty lucky at the end of the day. With our passport, we can get in for almost everywhere.
You are from Italy, right? When you have Italian passport, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I could get in most countries for 30 days. Visa on arrival was pretty easy. For Thailand, since I knew that I wanted to stay longer, I actually got a 2 months visa in Rome at the embassy, Thailand embassy in Rome, and I knew that I could extend it for another month. So when I was in Chiang Mai, I had already extended it for 30 days longer. Besides that, just visa on arrival, and I guess that the best thing is just plan it ahead, because you don't wanna bump into a crappy situation where you learn from one day to another that you have to leave a country and pay. Because at the end of the day, these problems you never really end up having issues with borders or justice or police or stuff. It just ends up with you paying a bunch of money for last minute flight and stuff. And if you do this lifestyle at the beginning, especially, you really want to save bucks. So
digital nomad lifestyle it depends on you. You can, for example, some people think it's a bit complicated, or you need a lot of money. Now it depends. Yes, if you go, for example, to India, I've spent like about 5+ months in India, but that was back in 2014 and 15. I was like, I was there for a few months, got out and got back. Yes, that was during my big travels. So that was as a backpacker. However, I'll tell you, in the north of India, back at that time, I was renting a place with internet. Yes, I believe there was internet. There was internet, and it was $5 a night, and it was double bed with hot water, which is, some places you don't have hot water. Maybe it's like, you're right, well, hot water makes sense, right? No, some places don't have hot water there. Well, which is, but hot water and like a little table there and a chair. Pretty awesome place, man. $5 a night. So $5 a night.
That's nice.
Say the internet there was decent. Like if you were to record a Zoom call, I believe that back in 2015, maybe it wouldn't be that clear. Maybe now there's faster internet even, and I believe there is. Manali is in northern India, in Himachal Pradesh. Beautiful place. Maybe I'll put on some pictures here on the background for people to understand the craziness. But man, and I was staying there for $5 a night. Plus, I had to eat a few times, so maybe I ate one meal in the morning, which was like momos. Momos is kind of Russian we call it pelmeni, like it's wrapped either
like a dog.
Say it. I'm sorry.
Like sorry, I don't know how you pronounce that word. That kind of bread paste.
Donut. Yeah, like pastry with something inside. So anyway, 10 momos would go for 50 rupee. 50 rupees, 25 baht. That would be 2.5 shekels, but less than $1, like 60 cents maybe. And you get 10 momos, which is like inside you have like vegan stuff. Or if you want meat, you have it a bit more expensive with meats. And this is like enough for a morning. And you have a chai. Chai is like 10 rupee, man. It's just 5 baht, which is 5 agorot, which is like, dude, like 2 cents. I don't know, like literally a tenth of $1. Or no, sorry, a 10 rupee. Dude, it's really like 60 rupees, $1. So something like 12 cents, right? And that's it. That's so like you don't really need much money to do that. So say you have a business on the internet, so it's just your costs of living. However, you can stay in the same town, Manali, for say $50 per night or 100, depends on the on the hotel. So as a digital nomad, you're cool to travel. And some places again are cheap, some are more expensive. I believe if you run a business, if you want to reinvest, which makes sense, right, from the profits, it's good to get cheaper place in the beginning. Why not? And then as you wish, if you want to expand, it just doesn't really matter. But so
yeah, totally.
And yeah.
No, I was just saying that's the nice thing. You're free to decide the kind of the extent of
so freedom, man. It's about the freedom, right? Eventually, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's the freedom, right? To travel, to move, to wake up in your own hours, to do your own stuff.
Change plan. I mean,
I think this one is very unbelievable for people that this kind of lifestyle is possible, where you literally, generally, not specifically digital nomad, generally as a human being, can literally structure your life as you wish. Of course, you have some sort of restrictions, whatever, as in wherever you are. But generally, in 2020, in my opinion, there's a lot of stuff to do, like to create, to live, to be free. Freedom is also about movement. It's one of the. I think I have a video. Maybe I shared with you, man, or not. Like I was speaking about like currencies of life. So being mobile is pretty good. You can be mobile, and today you want to travel here, there. Now with the COVID, it's a bit problematic more, but still, people travel and it's fine. But it's all about the freedom.
It still goes back to freedom and flexibility, because at the end of the day, it's really not about how much there is no competition. Like there is no competition like I've been to every country or I want to move every single week.
Unless you want to compete this way. If you want, some people want.
I guess there are people who do that, but the thing that I like the most is that you can choose. You can also just choose to stay home to enjoy with your hometown friends for a month. Why not?
You're free.
The point is you can do that. Yeah, you can do it if you have a traditional, kind of standard lifestyle. And again, many people are fine with that. I'm not saying that everyone has to do that, but if you are looking for that kind of flexibility and freedom, then probably you might look at doing an online job.
Yeah. And generally building wealth, I think it can help in the world of 2020 to try and generate wealth, to get more freedom. Money, in my opinion, if you are, and I was in places where I didn't have anything literally, right? Like most of us, I guess, or if not, then it's just the situation you can't get in life. And that's fine. It's like, it was still fun. It just happened, but just kind of continued. But I understood that when you don't have monetary problems, a lot of your other problems can get away, which are connected to money. And that's a lot in this world. It may be your food, maybe your healthcare of your family, your freedom again as well is in a way bought with money. You can buy yourself a freaking plane ticket and order yourself for 1 year a hotel somewhere if you want, if you have the funds to that. And it's not easy to achieve this, but it comes to creating a business or some sort of income. Not exactly a business, but something that gets in. It might eventually be a business, right? If it's or some sort of gig that gets you in money. Mike, are you still with me, man? Yeah, we're still recording. It's still kind of recording.
This ties back to the other problem of working online, connectivity.
Yeah, exactly. So now we had a little disconnect, which is good because we had a chance to reconnect. But that also happens in a lot of time. And it depends on the place you're staying at, but it just happens generally without the traffic in the internet now. A lot of people are home.
I learned that. I learned to ask that question first. Every time I inquire about an Airbnb room, I always ask, how good is the internet? Can I work online? Can I take video calls and so on?
So that's the digital nomadism we were talking about, and how it all, it's connected to internet a lot as well. People, if you want to run an Amazon business or whatever, if you want to do YouTube, you literally have to have internet. And these days it's pretty much not everywhere, no, not at all, but it's in many places. And generally, it again comes to, the choice. Like most of the people in the world, as far as I know, will spend their lives in their hometowns. And which is cool. But I would say that once you go out of your hometown, like I currently am staying in Arad, which is my hometown, and we have 30,000 people here. Great people, nice city, I like it. But even though it's really cool, I still deliberately went out to live in different places, to travel in different places, because I wanted to expand my mind. I wanted to see more. And, I've seen more countries, more places. And I think it's very important for personal growth of a human being to travel, to connect with other nations. And again, it's a choice. You don't really need that. It's not like a must in life. However, if you want to live a rich life, not monetary, generally, it's so cool to connect. Experience-wise, yeah. And just, sharing what you've learned with others, if that interests you, right? It can also be cool and very fulfilling to, and even to share your kind of language with others, meet with more people with other languages. It's so rewarding, in my opinion. Can really give you a lot of perspective and can help you succeed in other parts of life. You can have business partners from different countries. You can just live in different places. It's like literally whatever you choose. And I think it's good.
And you just meet so many interesting people. If I think about most of the people I hang out also virtually a lot right now, because obviously we don't get to go to Chiang Mai or Bali anymore this year for the time being. But most of the people I hang out now are people who I met when I started doing this kind of stuff, online business or even just travelers. Doesn't have to be people running business while traveling, just people traveling, maybe some content creator, stuff like that. And I feel like that's being rich as well, because if you do a traditional lifestyle, you can still meet people like that. Something pretty cool that I discovered recently was some digital nomads group in Rome, and then in Barcelona, and then in Valencia. And I meet some nice people doing, I don't know, any kind of stuff I wasn't even aware of, like personal development course, or stuff that I know they exist, but I never met someone actually making money with that, or Bitcoin and things like that I'm really not familiar with. Yeah, man, it's amazing. But still, if you live a normal sedentary lifestyle, you definitely get less chance to meet these kind of people. And if you are like that, you want to meet people who are like you, right? Like-minded.
Yeah.
And just think about the two of us. Met via Facebook by coincidence, and you live in Phuket. Cool, coming there next month. See you there.
Man. Yeah, it's really nice.
For me, that's huge. It's something that I personally miss a lot right now.
Yeah.
And I was so happy to leave Rome as soon as I could, because I really wanted to go out there again and meet some international groups. Again, you can find this chance, I guess, pretty much everywhere. But
everywhere, yeah. But still, you wanna move. Yeah, I understand the will to move to. That's a very big will for me as well, man.
Yeah.
I have been, after I came back from Thailand, I've settled down here in Arad, and currently I'm good, man. Like I'm really good, and because I'm close to my family, it's good to be here. I came also for personal reasons. My grandfather was sick, I mentioned, but it's good to be here now. My dog also is getting older. He's staying with my parents. He's like 11 years old now. I think in November now he's going to be, in a few days. He has the birthday, so he's getting a bit older. He's a good dog, so obviously I've traveled. Now Good came back to stay here, and he's a bit old, so it's and man, and it's still I'm still living the same lifestyle. I have my own hours, bro. We're in touch all the time. We run the Amazon businesses, and it's fun. Like it's literally I have my own schedule for years now. Like I quit my job in late 2017 when I worked, and then I moved to Thailand in early 18, man. And since I'm still in the free, it's insane, man. I'm wishing to all people who want just to believe that they can at least get to that, because I wanted that. Like I literally wanted. I was like, it's nice. I was a lifeguard, waking up at 5:20 every morning. I was working and I used to go back at 7:50 in the evening to home. Then I would go to the gym for an hour, bro. Like literally, and still in that time I was able to start with the Amazon business. So, excuses are fine. Not that I try to give less excuses, but I still give them. But if you're aware that there are no excuses, no excuses. But it's
It still goes back to how much you want it. I mean, exactly, I know again, this is kind of a cheesy statement.
No, that's true.
I guess you can see a motivational picture and so on, but it's really true. if you want something, at least you start. Then it could take 6 months, it could take 6 years. But if you want something, you can still start somehow, even just learning. Many people, I saw this a lot since I actually got the courage, probably I would say, to start, to live out. I had a pretty good job. I was getting good money in London and so on. I saw that some people started asking me about this stuff, and what I see many times, many people are curious about e-commerce or just Amazon, because people have heard this buzzword, Amazon FBA, make money, passive income, which is not passive at all, of course, as you know, after a couple of months. It can be to a certain extent in the long run.
To a certain extent,
yeah.
Kind of.
What I mean, it's just I saw many people starting asking me, or people introducing me to other people, and what I see is many times people are curious, but then they never make that extra step of. I'm not saying dropping their job or their normal life, but even just put €1,000 and I don't know, buy. I don't know. I'm not really. I wouldn't consider buying a course right away, but buy a book, a small course, a test product that you might fail, but just to start trying at least.
Sure. You gotta try.
That's a bit frustrating, to be honest. In the long run, I think it's frustrating. But again, it goes back to how much do you really want it? How much do you really want to try? And sorry, man, you will cut all this mumbling.
No, man, we're here to mumble, to have fun, bro. There's no rules. I always tell to people, I tell you as well. If we just come here to talk, man. Maybe we talk Amazon, we talk digital nomadism, man. Doesn't matter. We're just talking, having fun, man. Maybe somebody's interested in the same topics. We can clear some points for them. We can share some.
By the way, what you said really resonated when you said, like you think back about your old. Time organization in the day. Personally, I mean, I am nowhere close to achieve what I decided I would achieve when I left my job. I am nowhere close to that financial stability that I do want to achieve, because I
same here.
But
we're on the path.
And many times, not only Amazon seller, but every business owner, entrepreneur, everyone who does some kind of ambitious project and so on. Sometimes I do struggle with like uncertainty and so on, but
I struggled with it yesterday, man, or today morning maybe.
Totally. You get 1 or 2 weeks of shitty sales and you think like it is going down forever.
Takes over for your brain.
Exactly.
And gotta be strong against this. But it happens.
And to be honest, I just think about first thing I think about the people I met since I started, who made it, probably they wouldn't say that they made it, but from my point of view,
I see what you mean.
More than me for sure. I think about the risk that they decided to take, and for me, they're an example, because maybe I have less risk appetite than them, and it's just an inspiration as well. And man, I just think back about like the feeling I would have every morning when I would wake up in London, which is also a pretty gray and depressing city in winter, autumn, winter, and probably spring as well. Being forced to go to a fucking office, and it wasn't the worst.
You didn't enjoy it, you didn't enjoy it. I mean, you did, I guess, but something was not clicking there eventually.
But great experience, good money, good people as well. It's just that the environment and the fact that you were obliged to do some stuff many times that would make no sense. That's enough for me to kind of put me back on track and just think, all right, shitty day today, tomorrow it's a brand new day. Or, I've been super tired these last days. I haven't been sleeping well, as I was telling you. I was just considering tomorrow I would take my whole day off and go reading a book on the beach. Because I can, or maybe just the morning, who knows? But I think just to look back at what you decided to leave behind, and it's usually enough of a motivation to get in a better mood.
Yeah, eventually, when you quit. I mean, when I quit my job, bro, like I don't know if I shared with you or not, but I quit my lifeguarding job. I was a lifeguard, from 2012. Generally, I was in pools on the beach until late 17. So when I quit, the day when I went to the office, first I decided I quit job forever, and I used to tell it to all the people as well that are around me, my friends, my family. And why? Because I wanted to. It kind of gives you the feeling that you're signing something. Like I quit. I'm strong enough to quit my job, to announce it, and just to quit it actually forever, right? So, but at the same time, when I got back home, man, right, that was my feelings, right? I was standing in front of the mirror and I was saying, like, I'm not gonna ever go back to work. I'm not gonna ever go back to work. And I was literally like, my body doesn't accept it. Like my brain tells me, no, like, it's like I'm scared to say that out loud, but I had to myself. So that just I actually enjoyed the whole process. I was like doing that. Yeah, I'm never going to back to work. Like,
it's exciting.
Oh, but it's the same time I was fearful, like, wow, like I just quit my job forever. What the? But I did. Since then, I've been struggling with with all the online stuff, but I never got back. I'm just working. I'm earning money. I had the good times, bad times. Soon it's going to be Q4. Now it is Q4 already, as mentioned before, about the sales. It's getting better. Like maybe October was slower, but now it's getting back, sending products again. It's going to be good.
Yeah. I'm sure that even just in our space, even just as Amazon seller, I'm sure that even 8-figure sellers are still kind of struggling with it. Maybe they feel a bit more confident because their business are bigger, but I'm sure that they are still struggling with large investment.
A business might be running the normally, you have you have a pub, right? Or you have a big Amazon shop that seems to be working well. However, maybe it's not. Maybe
still a roller coaster.
Person can have a side of the monetary problems. The same business owner who has like 8-figure shop in other parts of his life can be not having a good time with them. It depends because it's just one part, right? Having a good business or good income, it's just one little part. Maybe somebody's struggling with depression or with weight, or maybe somebody's struggling with confidence. Oh man, so many things.
Loneliness is something that many people.
Loneliness, yes. Also, we all experience that. I think all of these things.
Totally.
But the way we react to them, that can be a game changer to your life, right? Which is kind of makes sense, right? And like, dude, like, don't be depressed, right? However, and I've went through times of depression, right? It was just really bad. But once I figured out what was causing that, I became much happier, right? I didn't go to therapy. I just kind of did it self. But I felt like shit at times of my life. And you did, man. Probably everyone who's watching did. But I choose not to feel these feelings most of the time. Sometimes they hit me and they overcome my defenses, right? But most of the time I feel that I'm happy, man, I gotta say. And I wish this to everyone as well.
No, totally.
Digital nomads or not, or Amazon sellers or whoever's watching, I gotta tell you, man, it's the craziness of YouTube. And I know we're far from talking about digital nomadism, but whatever. But I want to tell you something about YouTube and what we're doing now, the interview, right? Just to talk actually, but like the amount of people it reaches, the content, and the amount of countries we're able to touch and reach is insane, man. Like literally on Udemy, for example, I have the courses there, right? Bro, literally like people from 90 something countries, I think, or 100 something countries have signed up to like 3 courses. What, dude? Like this blows my mind. So I'm happy that it's a possibility to connect with all the world, man. Because I know that if I go one day to Japan and I want to meet with some friends, I have some friends from Japan. Well, some places I don't, but I can.
Totally.
Why I was saying that, I don't know, because it's fun. The management of YouTube,
absolutely. By the way, I was thinking something. I don't know if you listen to the Tim Ferriss podcast.
I don't, not much. I read his 4-hour work week in 2017, and I was working as a lifeguard, so it was also big impact.
Big for me as well. It's also one of the books that I gifted the most. But one of the I mean, I do like him as an author. I follow his newsletter, podcast, and so on. And one of the last episodes, he interviewed. He has just interviewed Matthew McConaughey, who has just published what sounds like a good book. It's called Green Light. In the interview, he talks a lot about also this kind of stuff. How to kind of monitor your how to control your mind, monitor your emotion, what goes on in your mind, and so on. He actually talks about what you were saying, just like trying to detect and understand what regular pattern in your behaviors actually causes you I don't know, right? Depression, it's a bit big as a word, but bad mood or feeling down and good time. And he talks about something that to me made a lot of sense. Many people journal. I do journal a little bit here and there, just I like to note down some ideas, feeling, stuff like that. But he said something that's very true. That most people journal when things go bad, whereas he has always used to journal when things are okay, good. What he calls, I understood that essential green lights for him is a metaphor of catching green lights in life, like achieving good stuff, having good results and so on. And it's very good. He says that recording on paper, positive feeling and so on, and understand why you got that, what you were doing those days, what your habits and routines were. It's way more powerful than just kind of writing down what's wrong with you, what's wrong in your mind. It's way more powerful to state to yourself what habits and routines are actually putting you in a good spot rather than the other way around.
Great idea,
and then
of course.
Observe that and just try to repeat that. One of my mentors as well has just explained me how he kind of planned his weeks, months, I believe even his year ahead or something like that. He just says what a perfect week or year looks like for me. Nice. He writes down what things he loves and what really makes the difference for him in terms of quality of life. And then he starts scheduling as soon as possible, puts in the calendar by week, by month, whatever it is, time with friends, sport, girlfriend, whatever. He puts it in there and he respects that planning religiously. And I just think it's great. I know that this might sound a bit like woo stuff and so on, but it actually makes so much sense because it's so easy to lose control of your time. And
of course,
then
man,
you don't even understand
life.
why you feel that week has been crappy or empty. That's because you
did not follow your perfect week or your good week kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of thing.
Yeah, and there are always things that you can't control in life. So you should always aim at controlling as much as possible because anyways, probably you won't get 100%. But at least trying to, if you plan 10 activities that you love, like sports, friends, learning, I don't know, reading, personal love movies, going to the cinema makes a big difference. I do love it since I was a kid. Nice. If you plan that kind of stuff and then you achieve even just 75%, it really makes a difference. But it must start with the planning.
Yeah, well, it makes sense to plan, man. I mean, you gotta. I mean, not exactly you can choose not to plan at all and still, just be living, be fine. But so there are many ways to play the game of life, right? But in my opinion, again, if you want some specific things, maybe then planning will really help you. And But generally, it's not only the planning. We're mentioning kind of, thinking positively in terms of like thinking of the good things, writing them down as well, thinking good emotion, letting yourself feel good emotions. And I find that many people, again, it's not that they need, but they are complaining though. Now, if you're complaining, that's something else. Not good to complain, in my opinion, but okay, people complain, which means they are not superbly happy with what's going on with them, which is still a state of life. But then you ask them, hey, do you want to change this? And they say yes. And I'm like, okay, interesting. So you do want to change it. Like, so, but then either they don't, maybe, but many people also stuck in this. They want to change something. They're not happy. They're not comfortable, but they're not doing much with them. And it's a lot about doing something with yourself, right? You gotta push yourself or put yourself through things in order to be able to maybe achieve what you are thinking in your head. Because everybody wants something, right? Everybody wants specific lifestyle, specific money as well, maybe. Everybody thinks about this, right? But like many people are not aware of these little hacks that if you take them and use them for a long time can help you achieve this much faster than even you can imagine. If sometimes it comes very fast to you, but maybe you have to imagine it, but sometimes it surprises you as well, to the bad sides as well, of course. Yes, life can be, but
so now personally I think that the whole personal development industry, I think it's great as a thing, but unfortunately it's probably crowded by more low quality authors that don't really talk about interesting stuff or effect.
Who knows?
No, and the problem is that they throw a bad shade on everyone else. I feel like too many people have a lot of prejudice against the whole self-development industry. meaning books or webinars, authors, and so on. Whereas it makes a lot of sense. I think most people should read some stuff or just try to question their choices, or just
right, yeah,
just read before judging. And unfortunately, there are just many authors that are kind of empty. They just send out empty messages, and they kind of give a justification to these people who just misjudges, I feel.
I understand.
Just a rant, bro.
yeah, I see it. Yeah, that's true. And maybe in every industry there's such people, but I do see what you're saying. Like in the self-help, it can be perceived as
people talking about nothing,
maybe,
which is not like
just
that,
like watered down stuff kind of thing. And I see what you're saying, but you gotta see who you are taking the information from, who you're listening to.
No, I'm not saying that the industry is like that. I'm saying that there are too many authors that are like that.
Yeah, they're the big portion of this, of this industry of self-help.
They hurt the reputation, let's say. They hurt the image and the reputation of that whole industry, meaning as cultural space, and that's bad because it's extremely positive. Authors like Tim Ferriss are great. I do like what he talks about. I do like the people he interviews or the books he wrote. Many people probably would just say, Tim Ferriss, it's self-help. What's that stuff?
Maybe. There would be some part of people that would say. So I think it's good to read different genres of books as well. For example, I like an author called Haruki Murakami. He's Japanese, and I can't even describe what the heck he writes. It's always,
I never heard.
You just gotta read that. If you wanna, what it means, like IQ 84, Norwegian Wood, pretty good books. There's Kafka on the Shore. There are people who are in the, but it's strange. I can't even. But yet I do read that because it's just fun to me. Or I tried doing different things. Go do different activities. Generally, his life is so diverse of stuff that I think it would be a shame not to try a lot of this. To just to see how life is in different places and stuff.
And I also, all right, this might be a bit of a rant, but I feel that many times this kind of quick judgment and critiques come from people who are probably the same people who are a bit scared to do that kind of jump, whereas I feel that once you start trying to improve the quality of your life, improve the quality of your thinking and so on, you do understand that self-help it's needed. Get someone to help you because that's needed. You do need some help when you try to do this.
We all need some help, right?
It's not easy at all. So even just reading the the idea of someone who did something meaningful, it totally helps. Bro. I feel like many people just criticize because I don't know. They just
who knows what's gonna happen. Somebody might not like this video, man. It's fine. We're all. It's good that we can talk, man. It's still good we have the chance to express ourselves, man, to live generally. So, and aside of that, thank you for coming, for being part of the video today, man, for sharing your thoughts about life and digital nomadism and whatnot. And we'll see you soon.
Totally, man. Thank you so much for having me. It was great, as always.
Thank you, 100%. And talk to you soon, man, right?